Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Genki One Lesson 9 Question and Answer live stream. I'm Andy, and tonight we're going to be covering questions and answers that you may have based on Genki Lesson 9, such as questions about the short form, past tense, informal speech, I think in Japanese, they said in Japanese, qualifying nouns with verbs already and haven't yet because with kara, and any other questions that you may have that aren't part of Lesson 9. Before we do that, just want to mention that it really helps if you hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the bell, and if you share this stream or any video you might like from our channel on any of the social media platforms you might be a part of, if you know someone who's studying Japanese. Also, we've got a Patreon link down in the description. The Patreon has lots of videos that can help you if you're studying Genki, and other stuff too. And there's also a join button with cool stickers, like what you see in chat now. But anyway, that's enough of that advertisement stuff. How is everyone doing tonight? It's good to see you. Thank you to those of you who were over in the premiere just now. It's fun talking to you guys while we watch that. And thanks to everyone who's here now. Let's see who we've got. Participants. Sophia's Animation Studio, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a good time at your Nans. Come to Japan, Dan, from Ryokan Way in the mountains of Oita. Thanks for being here, man. It's good to see you again. Donnie Beck, Exit Trans, Keckles, Lena, Lucian, Meng, and Yuki Achik. How you guys doing tonight? Whew. I am sleepy. For anyone interested, Dan is on a mountain. He is a hardcore YouTuber. Oh yeah. But to be honest, I think he is lost and is not willing to admit it. Possibly. Konbanana. Oha konbannichiwa to everyone. Choushi wa dou desu ka? Says Yuki. I'm okay. I'm sleepy. I had to wake up early today to go judge a band, like a battle of the bands at the high school that I work at sometimes, and that was fun. I got to practice some Japanese I didn't know by talking to the students from up on stage and then reading out whoever got the MVP awards. Basically, I had to read those. There were some kanji I didn't know, so that was embarrassing, but in a good way. I won't forget them now. So that was cool. I watched your name last night. It was 1 a.m. when I was done. There's like 40 minutes left. Oh no! Lawson having a blast. Battle of the Bands sounds like a Jack Black movie. Basically, but a lot less fun than a Jack Black movie. I mean, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It was cool. They live streamed it because all the students couldn't be there, so they were live streaming on YouTube, just like me. And they had a whole giant setup, way crazier than mine. Live streaming it, which was pretty cool. I don't know. It was a neat experience. But anyway, today we're here for a question and answer about short form past tense in Japanese and other things. For those of you who were here last week and didn't get to see the premiere of the lesson 9, you probably remember that I completely forgot to cover negative past tense and adjectives and nouns past tense in Japanese, the informal. I did that in the stream cut, so I filmed a new version of that. So go ahead and watch that if you need some review. But anyway, Space Monkey konbanana. Space Monkey, did you watch BNA? No, I haven't watched any anime recently. I haven't had any time. I'm still trying to catch up on lots of videos. We really need to watch that. I'm sorry. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Make a note somewhere. BNA, ne? You gotta watch that. But hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. So anyway, last week we covered the short form past tense, which was basically just, there's a couple rules, which were basically for utsu and do is small tsu and ta, and you cut that character. Or shita for su, cut that character. Cut munu or bu and add nda. And ku becomes ita, gu becomes ita. And that was basically, that was it. That was the past tense, informal past tense. So there's just those like 5-ish rules. And if you memorize those, you can conjugate pretty much any verb except for ichidan and, what was it? Ichidan and the irregular. So ichidan, of course, you just cut the do and add ta. Miru becomes mita. Neru becomes neta. Okiru became okita. Etc. So, she's just responsible for the background sound effects. Yuki, hello! Could you hear? She's over here. Your fans are here. Your fans.
And my
So, your fans, not my fans. Oh, my fans. These fans. That you're talking about. Gotcha. The barbecue fans, ne? Yeah. There's Nothing I can do about that, man. I could cook a chicken right now. No joke. On the top of this laptop.
Should I bring it back?
Oh, you can go get the chicken. Or the pork? Yeah, we can cook some pork. Get it ready for tomorrow. I don't need these speakers. Have a good day, Sophia. Hurricana. All right. Was the Scribble Scream a planned thing? I missed it. Maybe next time. Lena, yes, but it was a very sort of spur of the moment. Someone came up with the idea on like Thursday-ish, I think. And then I didn't make an announcement about it until I like hinted at it a couple times last week. I wasn't sure if we were going to do it. And then I put the announcement up like the day of or the night before or something in Discord. Kyushu Trail, the Wombat is here. How's it going, man? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so it wasn't quite planned, but we plan on doing it again because it was a lot of fun. We had quite a bit of fun. Unfortunately, I had the volume for the participants was way down, which is unfortunate. So I don't think you can hear the participants in the live stream. At least not really well. So next time I'll have to turn that up a bit. But yeah, we definitely hope to do it. I don't know if I'm gonna live stream it again last time because it was hard to how should I put it? To interact with the live stream chat and with the Discord and actually play the game. So it was difficult to sort of divide my attention between those three different things. But definitely plan on doing it in the Discord again eventually. Whether or not I live stream it, we'll see. I'll leave that up to the Discord maybe. We have a great ghost video coming out tomorrow morning. Woohoo! It's exciting. See you later, Sophie. Have fun. Fair enough. Alright, so it doesn't sound like we have any questions on the past tense. Either it was simple or everyone's way past it or isn't up to it yet. All of those things are certainly possible. Or maybe I've been live streaming too much this week with games and stuff and everyone turned off the notifications so they don't know that we're live right now. That's also possible. I always know that's a possibility when I start playing games on this channel. But anyway, if anyone has any questions on the short form past tense throughout the evening, let me know and I'm happy to go back to it. But for now, we'll go ahead and move on to... What was it? I know, Lucian. I know. Nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Do I have the right sound on it? Yeah. Yep. If you have headphones on, it's gonna sound pretty ridiculous, unfortunately. Oops. I really need to get a desktop. Just so that, it doesn't sound so absolutely ridiculous when I live stream, but what can you do? Something happened with my mic, too. I had to turn the mic, like the sensitivity up really high within OBS, because suddenly my mic went from having a lot of pickup to like not picking up any sound during one of my live streams. I don't know what's going on there. Definitely not there. Still at chapter 4. Just tuning in because I'm curious. Gotcha. Yeah, usually we have a lot more questions, so there might not be many questions tonight, which is perfectly fine. But if you guys have any questions on whatever chapter you're on, you don't need to ask questions about just this lesson. Please feel free to ask questions about anything you're on. So this lesson, this live stream in particular, the question and answer stream in between lessons, its primary purpose is a placeholder, because the lessons are 2 weeks apart. But also for if anyone has any questions in between those lessons before we move on to the next lesson. But making the questions on lesson 9, is just sort of to give us some focus. But if anyone shows up and has questions about anything else, I'm more than willing to answer them. They could be a later lesson or an earlier lesson or anything. Anything is fine. So you need to get away from aces. I plan on it very much so. Yabai, banana de subetta. Oh my god. Are you okay, Space Monkey? So the Tay form. Would you recommend me to remember them fully or just try to use them with a possible chance of a mistake? I always recommend trying to use things whether or not you think you'll make a mistake. If we go back up to the past tense, it's exactly the same as the past tense. So like if you're on the te form right now, it's the same as this. Let's get up there. It's way up there. I don't remember what slide it was. Okay. So it's the same as this. So like u becomes te, tsu becomes te. So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rules. So you should memorize the rules. You don't, and then maybe practice conjugating various verbs that you might know into it so that you can kind of get it right. But it's not going to be perfect every time. So yeah, I definitely recommend making lots of mistakes with it and trying to get it right, because you will make mistakes with it. It's fine. It's going to happen to you. Keko says, let's practice informal affirmative past to informal negative past. Ooh, yeah, we could do that. Let's throw a few up on the screen. What's up, covert misnomer? How you doing? Yes, I am in Japan. I am in Japan. Te enter. Giri safe. Ima daijoubu da. Yokatta. Aubergine. Ugh, sorry I'm late. You're not that late. It's only 10 or 15 minutes since we started. We haven't covered anything yet, so no worries at all. So we can jump down to right around here, kinda. Ooh, almost perfect. Yes. So let's go ahead and do this. I can pull up something over here. We'll do, what can I make it show up best in? Probably just this. Oops. There you go. So I'll bring up a couple words for you. All right. There goes my computer's taking off again. So here is a word. There you go. Now, conjugated into the negative past tense, informal, of course. Do you know if there's some kind of test for Genki 1? Would be nice to test how well you actually remember, understand stuff after studying the first book. Boku mo. Ine, covert misnomer. Lena, I'm not sure if there's a specific test. I know they use it in universities, but I imagine that the teachers make their own kind of test. It could be something we consider making at some point to put on my website. At some point. I'm not sure. I've never seen a test for Genki 1, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But yeah, Covert has a good point. Just going over the workbook. Can't read kanji. Ah, yes. So the kanji is taberu. So convert from tabeta to the negative past tense. Use the workbook for Genki. Colleges use the workbook to draft tests. Oh, okay. Makes sense. What do you think, Keckles? You got it? I'll give you a hint. Tabe. It's an easy one. Huh? Eh? Negative past. もちろん。食べなかったです、Shannon. Correct! なかった. Yes. But yes, when you use the workbook, it's always a specific grammar point and not that much mix. Fair enough. It'd be nice to have it sort of mixed up. 食べた、食べる、食べなかった. Oh yeah, you had to go all the way back. Yes, nice. There's a custom reviewing thing on GitHub for Genki 1 and 2. Oh really? That's nice. 滑る、滑った。滑った。Oops, 食べなかった. No worries, man. It's a good one. I don't usually do this on stream. Could be fun. It's way too hot in this room. もうちょっと低くやってくれる？These lights are intensely hot. Also, my computer is spitting out hot air, so that doesn't help. I'll add it in Genki on general Discord. Thank you. You could throw it in the resources. Throw it in Japanese resources channel. It's probably the best place for it. Yakisoba wo tabeta ga banana wo tabenakatta. You had yakisoba but not bananas. Fair enough. Instant heater. Suberanakatta. Perfect. Andy is a hottie. Oh, thank you. Suberanakatta. Perfect. All right. We'll do one more. We'll do a good one. What's a good word? No. I can't think of anything interesting. I guess it should be from Genki, so we'll go with asonda. Asonda to the past negative. How you doing, Kyushu Trail? It's good to see you tonight. You having a good summer vacation, or are you still working? Asonda. I'll pop this up on the screen for next. Ine. All the bananas. Yuki Chick is giving out the bananas just like the banana queen she is. Suberanak. Asobu ne. Asobanakatta. Perfect. Asobanakatta. Yes. Asobanakatta. Oops. Asobana. Ding! Good job. Okay. I'll just leave this open in case we need it later. Okay. I still mentally have to go back to dictionary form. Yeah, it's fine. It's normal. Because you learned how to conjugate it from dictionary form. And that's how it should be at first, I think. It's easier. You're never going to be going from the past tense to the negative past tense unless your teacher is testing you on it. So I think it's pretty natural to go back to the dictionary form and then go up until the negative past tense. It's gonna be slow at first, but eventually it'll just become second nature, and you won't actually have to think about it at all. It'll just come out when you're speaking. But at first, that's normal. Working, but I'm good. All right. Well, I'm glad you're good. 滑るというのは何ということですか? 滑るっていうのは to slip or to slide. 滑る. Let's put that in chat so you can copy and paste it. 滑る. It is an exception to the iru eru or ichidan verb rule, so it's conjugated like a normal godan verb. Subetta. Suberanakatta. Suberanai. Suberimashita. Toka. I don't think you can reliably because so many things conjugate the same. So if I don't know the dictionary, I'm boned. Pretty much. I mean, you are anyway, I think. You gotta know the dictionary form. Watashi mo yakisoba wo tabemashita. Nice. So you used mo u. So I don't know what you're trying to say. If you want to say that you also ate yakisoba, Chris Lane, you want to get rid of that u. It's just the mo particle. If you want to say you already ate yakisoba, then you'll use that mo. But I'm not sure which one you want to say. Asobanakatta. Demo, asonda. Asondakunakatta. We did not cover wanting or not wanting yet. So, not wanting to play would be asobitaku nakatta. So, the tai, the want conjugation, you conjugate like, I think you use the mas stem. So, asobimas, but without the mas. So, asobitai. So, negative past tense, you cut the e and add nakatta. Asobitaku nakatta. You had ku nakatta, I'm sorry, yeah. So, we didn't cover that yet. And also, it's asondanakatta. Asobanakatta is what you want in the first part of the sentence. Space monkey, but good. Arigatou gozaimasu, says Steven. You're welcome. In Genki 2nd edition, they have the sentence Tomu-san ga yatta to omoimasu. Why is ga used here? Sorry, it's not really the lesson 9 thing. Tomu ga yatta to omoimasu. So it's specifically Tom that did it. There was probably a question that came before it. Someone asked, who did this? And that ga, it's actually from lesson 7 or 8, I think. It puts emphasis on Tom. So it's Tom, all caps, Tom is the one who did it. So Tomu-san ga yatta to omoimasu. So that ga puts emphasis on Tom. And he was already a topic in the conversation, so you don't need to put wa there again. By the way, can we give Andy some credit for having for always having on a great shirt. Agree. Show it by clicking the like button. Thank you. Appreciate that. I like this shirt. I wear it a little bit too much, probably. Ah, cool. Yes, got it. Thanks. You're welcome. Konbanwa, Michael. Good to see ya. Hope you're having a good day. Mata chikoku da. Ah, I better write it on the attendance. Michael was late, but he used Japanese to say mata chikoku, so we'll let him slide. もちろん遊びたくなかった。ありがとう. No worries. Okay, thanks. In the book, it's not answering a question, which is why I was a bit confused. Yeah, fair enough. But if the person is already saying that with the to omoimasu, right? That wouldn't stand alone. Like, obviously, you're saying that I think Tom did it. So you're probably like, what? Tom did what? So there's something that's been broached in the conversation, which Tom did. And the listener knows what that thing is. So by saying Tom did it, I think, we need to emphasize that it's Tom, not someone else. So that's why the ga is used there. But I imagine whether the question is in the book or not, if you've got to omoimasu there in a question like that, there's someone else involved in the conversation, definitely. Welcome to the ToKini Senpuki Covert Misnomer. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy the stickers and the cool green name and stamp. Thank you for joining, everyone. Welcome Covert Misnomer to the ToKini Senpuki with a stamp. Boom. Thank you. All right. Yes, explosions. Celebrate. Oh, it doesn't work for me. Oh well. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I second that re-shirts. I third it. Told you, you need a stick. Nice. I need a stick emoji is what I need. Memba arigatou! Is there a conjugation table somewhere to use as a reference? There's actually a pretty cool... I found a really cool chart once, a long time ago. I should make something like this. Oh, there's actually a really good chart. I don't know if it's good. It's kind of a mess. I'm not gonna share that with you. Yeah, I don't know of a good chart. Usually in like grammar books and stuff, in the beginning there will be a nice chart. Let's see if I can pull this up. My trusty Japanese grammar dictionary. If you don't have a grammar dictionary like this, I highly recommend it. They're invaluable, seriously. I can't remember if this has a conjugation table in it or not. I think it does. Let's see. Maybe not. It's got a lot of other cool stuff though. It's probably in like the back of the book or something. Tables. I'm sure you could find something online though. I don't know. I'll have to take a look later and see if I can find something better. If not, maybe I'll make something. Charts definitely help, but the thing is that you don't usually have a chart when you end up needing it. And I always ended up finding that they didn't work well for me, but some people really like charts. So that's good. Avocados, nice. There's a conjugation chart in the back of the book. Oh, okay, perfect. The Genki basic ones. In the second edition, at least. Dan, how is the weather by you? Great in the mountains, nice to see. A lot of G-Show gives conjugation when you look up a word. Not a chart, but helps. Yeah, when you look up a word in like a mobile dictionary, usually every single conjugation will come up. Where's my Genki book? There it is. It's got the... Yuki's making some listening and shadowing slides for the Patreon. Oh yeah, here you go. Conjugation chart, right in the back of the book page. If you have the third edition, it's page 382. It's got VMAS, te form, short past, short present negative, short past negative for a bunch of different verbs. That's useful. Yeah. So that's something. If you have it, gomenne. Onegai shimasu. Page 382. Yeah, there you go. Thank you again, Covert. All right. Actually, that means we can add 3 more emoji. We'll have to do that sometime this week. We need to make a bunch. Maybe some Ando-san face emoji. All right. So, the next section that we covered, if you have any questions, guys, on anything that's not related to Lesson 9, please go ahead and continue asking those, because these streams are most fun when we have questions. But I will keep going, running through the slides so I can jog your memory in case you need some reminders from Lesson 9. All right. So we just talked about some informal conversation facts that, like, particles are dropped, like an aisu wo tabeta janakute ice tabeta, and stuff like that. And that was pretty much it for informal conversation. It was very similar to the Lesson 8 informal speech section. We had sentences like mise wa aite inakatta yo, the store was not open, and things like that. And we also used adjectives mada ringo wa akaku nakatta, the apple was not yet red. So we covered mada is later in the lesson, but is this stream a regular thing? Nichijou kore o streamu ga arimasu ka? Yes, so every single Sunday I do one of these live streams from 9 o'clock. On next Sunday will be lesson 10 of Genki. It's the actual lesson, so that's when I teach these slides. And this week is the question and answer. So the lessons are bi-weekly, and then in between we have a question and answer live stream. So this is the question and answer for lesson 9, and any other questions and or answers you might have. The next week's lesson 10, and the following week's question and answer for lesson 10. Following week is lesson 11, and so on and so forth, until we finish Genki 2. So we will be going regularly every single Sunday until at least February, maybe March. And after that, I plan on doing some kind of intermediate content. I haven't decided on a textbook yet, but I do plan on continuing the live streams after that. Just not sure what form they're going to take just yet. But yes, every Sunday. And recently, since I'm on vacation, I've also been streaming some games and stuff during the week. But this lesson one is, yes, every Sunday. So that was intermediate conversation. This little question section thing, I actually cut this out of the stream cut because it actually wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to have a person who was, so like, donna anime o mimashita ka? And then this person answered informally, nichijou anime o mita. But I messed up those sentences. So just to point out that, like, just because someone's speaking polite to you doesn't necessarily mean you need to speak polite to them, like if they're much younger than you, and vice versa. If someone much older than you is speaking to you in impolite, in informal Japanese, it doesn't necessarily mean you have permission to speak to them in informal Japanese. Though, as a foreigner learning Japanese, you will be forgiven if you do use informal Japanese. Pretty much at any time. I started learning Japanese by learning informal Japanese. I didn't actually start textbooks till quite a bit later on, and I never had any issues with it, but I do know some people have been reprimanded. But meh. The next thing we covered last week was informal plus to omo, I think, in Japanese. Genki covers it as to omoimasu, so most of my sentences were to omoimasu, like dekinakatta to omoimasu. I don't think they were able to do it. I don't think we were able to do it. And stuff like that. It was just like the lesson 8 one, so you just end a sentence in the past tense, informal, and add to omoimasu, and it means I think. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to see if you have any questions about that or anything else. We need more likes, says Dan. 20 people watching, but only 19 likes. Oh my god! Give it some love. I see 22 likes. Thank you, everyone. Ottototto. I expect to get... Ottototto. I expect 1 million likes. No, that'll never happen. I don't even know if there's 1 million people learning Japanese. And probably not. 23 likes here, says Lucian. 24 over here. Oh my goodness, it's like a counting game. Fun. We are on different realms, different servers. Just wrapped up chapter 5. So next is the Teiform song. Woo! A few chapters behind. Yeah, man. Teiform song is coming up. If you have any questions on lesson 4 or 5, or 5 or 6, feel free to ask them. It doesn't seem like too many people have questions tonight. So, but good job, Ian. Otsukaresama deshita. I need to make a Tayform song. I brought my guitar home and everything. I planned on releasing my own version of the Tayform with me playing guitar, drums, singing, etc. But I haven't had time. Maybe the week after next, I can make that. I want my own version. Minasan, oha konbannichiwa. Ooh, Mike, good one. You got it. Oha konbannichiwa. Love it. Thumbs up. Never say never. 今日もう仕事した。いいね。その映画をまた見なかった。どの映画かな? What movie did you not watch, I wonder? butお疲れ様でした. Good job on work. こんばんは, Austin. There we go. Never doubt the power of Yuki's dreams. Word. Konbanana. Oh, I like that one too. Konbanana. Konbanana. That's the new one we haven't thrown up in the Discord yet, but we should. Metal version. I don't have an electric guitar, so I don't think we can do a metal version. It's gonna be acoustic, but with some drums. We'll see. Yes, please. I had to laugh at the one you showed. It was good though. In Lesson 9 Useful Expressions, they teach that you can use both katakana word for a color and the more Japanese one, etc. Midori and green. Midori is more common and more natural. But it depends on what we're talking about. So, like, let's pull out the book. Lesson 9. Group 2 nouns. Green no sweater. まあね。シルバー、グレー、ゴールド。そうだね。ピンク、ベージュ。Obviously pink, orange, gray, those kind of ones are very often used with the katakana. Gordo and shiruba are also very common in katakana. Green, I haven't heard that often in katakana. You can use it, but I don't hear it that often. Although just English, Japanese English, waseigo, it's called waseigo, is very common these days. So it'll probably become more and more common over time. If you can't remember midori and you want to just say green when you want something green, no, it'll be understood. Everyone will know what you're talking about. It was Banana Day last Friday. Is there a Banana Day? Wow, that was a missed opportunity. Massive missed opportunity. I think they have the green car on the Sobu line. Yeah, the green car, ne? Yes. The green car is actually, I always think of it as like it sounds like an environmental car, like it's all electric or something, but I think it's just the expensive car. Maji! Says Yuki. Alright. So I think we're good on to omoimasu. This section was also basically exactly the same as the lesson 8. It was informal plus to iteita or informal plus to iteimashita as Genki covers it, and that's just to say they said, something that you heard directly. So something that you heard with your own ears and you're telling someone else what you heard. Use to iteita or to iteimashita. So this is the teiru past form, right? The teiru past form of the verb yu, which is to say. Hachiba 77. Banana. Naruhodo na. Banana. Mind blown. Even Yuki's mind is blown. Love it. I'll do a nattoku. Nattoku shimashita. There's a lot of special days and like jokes with numbers in Japanese because they'll use the way you can read the first letter or first character of a number and make it into a word, like that one, banana. What are some other good ones?
いい夫婦の日。
いい夫婦の日。11
月23日。
11月23日。Oh, いい夫婦の日. So that's Good Couples Day. Good Married Couples Day.
So married couples.
November 23rd, Good Married Couples Day. 1-1. So it's E, and then 2-3. Fu. Fufu.
So, 夫婦。
どうやって? さんはfuって読める?
じゃあ22日か。
22だね。It's 22nd. It's not the 23rd. It's the 22nd. 39. Thank you. Yeah, nice. Niku day is Niku nichi. Okay.
確かに
Every day is Niku day here.
毎月29日は肉の日
I wonder if the spirit animal from Yuki is a monkey. The spirit animal from Yuki is a monkey? It could be. I don't even know why. Well, we talked about what the bananas thing was. I think I once just said in one of the very, very first streams, I was like, if you answered a question, you get a banana. And then Yuki started passing out bananas for me, and she immediately became the banana queen. I feel like Kyushu Trio and Come to Japan were there those days. 31st is ice cream day. Nice. I like that. Oh, because 31. 31. Baskin Robbins 31. They call Baskin Robbins in Japan 31 because they have 31 flavors. 1 second, guys. Yeah, and Baskin Robbins is cheaper on the 31st too. All right. So と言ってましたね. I don't think anyone has any questions about that. In spoken conversation, you often drop that E there. So a lot of people say iteta in the informal past tense, iteta. And itteimashita, I guess you wouldn't drop the E there in the formal. But anyway. Next we talked about qualifying nouns, or making them more specific with te iru conjugation. We've qualified nouns with adjectives, non-adjectives, and stuff like that. Omoshiroi kao, aojiroi kao, oishii mizu, kirei na sora. That's also qualifying nouns. It's making them more specific, but you can also do the same thing with the te iru form. You can also do it with other informal conjugations, but Genki only covers the te iru form in this lesson. So if anyone has any questions about that, now's the time. Oh, the number puns. Goro awase. Really good used as mnemonics for remembering stuff too. Yeah. I remember hearing a story about city traders mistaking thank you for thank you. Did that just disappear? I missed it. I couldn't read it in time. 2469度。26度。
どこ?
For the months with 31 days. Oh, those are the months with 31 days. 2, 4, 6, 9, and do. You sure you didn't mean to, as in 10? In this section, is it just giving a ing adjective to a noun? Basically. So it's like the exercise, the moving cars. I mean, yeah, you can see that. Sparkling eyes, moving cars, blooming flowers. It's basically exactly that. Nikumuku samurai. Nishimuku samurai. Nishimuku samurai. Months with 31 letters. Nishimuku samurai. Nishimuku samurai. Naruhodo. Nishimuku samurai. Got it. Even you guys are good. Even she doesn't know these. Watashi no spirit animal is hitsuji da yo. そうなの? Llama じゃないの? No, that's not your spirit animal. It's different. 違うんですよ。なんだろう? The animal that you most identify with, I guess? Or that is your guardian? Well, how would you guys describe a spirit animal? I'm not new agey enough anymore. Nishimuku samurai, I like that. Nice. Wow, thanks, Austin. Not gonna forget now. I've never memorized which month had what. Neither have I, actually. Yes, sheep. But she thought you meant the Chinese. What do they call it? Zodiac. Chinese zodiac. So Japanese people are very serious about, or at least they all know what their Chinese zodiac character is. Yuki's is Hitsuji. I don't know what mine is. I think I'm a rabbit. Rabbit. Yep, I'm rabbit. You can just look up your year in zodiac.
マジか、スピリットアニマル。
スピリットアニマルはちょっと違うんですよ。そう。
また違うやつ。
My spirit animal is pizza. Most identify with what represents you best. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm a rat. Woo! Alright. I'm a horse. Rabbits for life. Wombat. That's your spirit animal, wombat. I'm a tiger. Nice. I always wanted to be a dragon. I'm a cock. Well, just demonetized myself. It's okay. I forgive you. Mine is an ox, basically a cow. Oh, no, yeah, basically. Ox, the difference between an ox and a cow, I think it's just, what was the difference? One is neutered or something and used for labor, I think, right? There's like only a small difference. I'm a monkey. All right, perfect. So you must like bananas. Instant banned. No. I was just reading about animals. It's okay, YouTube. My grandpa taught me how to count which months have 31 days. Just put your fists together and look at your knuckles. The knuckle is the 31st day, and the pit between them is 30 days. Wow. Although the first one is not that case, unless you're going, because this is 1. Oh, but yeah, the first month, doesn't January have 31 days? No? Age reveal at 2 million subs. 1 is hairy. Can't say my zodiac animal, I'll give away my age. Fair enough. 2 million subs, man. We're almost there. Just a few more. Strong like an ox, a saying in Chinese. I tried to look up rat, but only got nizumi. Is there not a word for just rat? Maybe no.
でもラットって言うよね。
ラット?
なんか可愛いやつはラット。
But what about the Chinese zodiac?
ネズミ。
Nezumi だね. Yeah, it's Nezumi in Japanese for the zodiac. You start from December, okay. So, December, January, February, March, April, May. Naruhodo. Okay, gotcha. Dobu Nezumi. Master Splinter was a rat. That is true. Master Splinter was also in Dragon Quest. I've been dying to play that again. Alright, so teiru, you can modify nouns. Oyoideiru hitotachi, people who are swimming, etc., etc. That was basically it. It was just that. 何がわかんなかった? Spirit animal は the animal you most identify with, you most feel like, or that's most like you. 自分の中には動物が存在していれば何でしょうかって。Ah, Yuki said she's a sloth. Her spirit animal is a sloth. She does like eating green leaves, probably more than bananas. I know that's probably disappointing to a lot of you, but sloth is probably a good characterization. I'm more the monkey, I think. I almost identify with Medaka. Medaka.
Rice fish じゃない。
Oh. Nice.
あ、そっか。だって最近さ。
You have been putting up the Medaka on your channel, yeah? Not a sloth, a banana eating sloth. Leaves. Because sloths only eat leaves. Like almost none. Yuki Eichik. 日本に
来る前。
来る前かな Wrong 漢字来る前僕の仕事がスカイダイビングのキャメラの人でした。しかし僕の中の名前がファルコンです。だから僕のスピリットアニマルファルコン。ナイス。
はやぶさですよ。
はやぶさね。いいね。That sounds like a fun job. I only went skydiving twice, but I always wanted to try and get certified so that I could go by myself, but it was a little bit too expensive to get to that point. Sloth poop once a week if you didn't know. 知ってた? Sloth が週に1回しかうんこしないんだって。それが困るんだね。1日しか。They only eat 8 grams of greens per day as well. Imagine, that sounds terrible. The Medaka videos have been doing great. Completely different audiences. Nice. Glad to hear that, man. Constipation っていうか何も出すものないんじゃない? 食べてないから. Okay, so our next section that we went over in the last lesson was mo and mada. Mo needs mashita. The mashita, or the past tense of a verb. Mo tabeta is also fine. You don't need to be it doesn't need to be polite. Mada teinai needs to be teinai or teimasen to mean have not yet. That was literally it, so I'm not expecting any questions on this. I'm not expecting any questions at all tonight, to be honest. Doesn't seem like we're in much of a question mood today. I'm okay with that. I don't mind talking about random stuff. That's why it's the question and answer stream, not the regular lessons. Much more relaxed. Yeah, speaking of which, come to Japan. Kyushu Trail. They both make YouTube videos. You got to check them out. Click on the links that are attached to their name. Subscribe to them if you're into that stuff. Come to Japan's trying to bring someone to Japan for free, so he makes videos about Japan, aiming at that. Kyushu Trail makes hiking videos in Japan. And he's got to go. Early start tomorrow. Hopefully hiking. Oh, but maybe work. I'm not sure. And they also have a channel together called Ghost Map Japan, where they go to crazy haunted places all around Kyushu, I guess, and show you those. So check out their channels. And say thank you to Dan for always helping out on my live streams in the chat. Appreciate that. All right. So this is like the booth in a church. Please release all your sins. You can do that. Careful, though, because I read them all out. Future question. How is chapter 10? I haven't looked into it, but I heard it's quite dense. Thanks, Andy. Hiking tomorrow. Nice. Ii na. Oremo hiking ni ikitai na. And there's a Ghost Map Japan video tomorrow. Nice. So chapter 10, I'm the practice section. I just finished the textbook practice video for the Patreon yesterday, I think. It took me forever. It was so long. I had so much extra time to finish videos this month. But that one took me so long that I'm not ahead anymore. So it's a pretty dense chapter, but I don't think it's that difficult. The main points are comparing things, and that will probably be the most confusing part. The rest is all pretty straightforward, to be honest. I mean, I always say that, but there's not many rules involved in what we're going to be covering in lesson 10. Except for maybe the section 6, Dokoka ni and Doko ni mo. That one could be a little bit confusing. I can sense some potential pitfalls there, but the rest is not. It's not that heavy. But the textbook practice is very, very long. Very long in chapter 10. Radclaw! Ohio! Ohio! Hope you're having a good day. A bunch of you guys were in the live streamed Scriblio game last night. It was a good time. I hope we get to do that again. I'm not sure I'm gonna live stream again. And sorry about thanks for pointing it out, Radclaw. Sorry about the voices of all the participants. I was so bummed about that. I was saying in Discord later how I wish I had turned it up, but I didn't test that audio. Oh well. It was a good time. Bye-bye, Kyushu! Do Japanese do sarcasm? Not really. As a Brit, the following can all mean awful, great, brilliant, wonderful, awesome. Ian, no. Sarcasm's weird in Japanese. There are ways of expressing sarcasm in Japanese, but you can't do it the way most people, not all people, but most people aren't gonna understand what you're doing. If you say like something like, I can't think of, yokatta ne, like, as in, oh, that's great, but like in a sarcastic way. Japanese people don't really do that. That's not really a thing, so most people won't even understand it. They won't pick it up. The way that Japanese people do sarcasm, it's usually very aggressive and very, you're in trouble if someone uses this with you. It's if they use extremely, extremely polite Japanese with you when they're actually really close with you. So if they're actually like a family member or a friend or a significant other, and you're fighting, and then suddenly they switch to super polite, like keigo, polite Japanese, that's sarcasm in Japanese. So what they're really saying is F you, basically. But they're doing it in an extremely, extremely polite way. And that's the closest that I can think of that's sarcasm in Japanese. Like, it's the closest thing they have to what we think of as sarcasm. But, like, the saying a word and meaning the opposite is just not, it doesn't quite work as well in Japanese, I feel like. I would love to go hiking in Japan, but I'm scared of the suzumebachi. Suzumebachi aren't really that common. If you keep in mind that they're attracted to black, apparently, and stay away from like hollowed out trees and stuff, and just keep an eye out, generally be good. I've seen suzumebachi quite a bit around my kindergarten, but they don't really come after you. You just have to be careful. It's not that bad. I've done a lot of hiking and I've never run into any problems. 雪がたくさん降っているようでした. Oh, I read this sentence on a video and wondered if you could explain it insofar as qualifying the noun. 降っている夜でした. 雪がたくさん降っている夜でした. Okay, so the 降っている is modifying yoru, which is nighttime. So it was a snowy night is what you would kind of translate that to in English. Or it was a night with lots of snowing, or it was a very snowy night, I guess is how you would translate that into English. So basically, it's sort of a dramatic way of saying, it's like a storytelling mechanism almost. Like you might start a story that way, like a dramatic story, right? Like in a book or something. 雪がたくさん降っている夜でした. It was a night with lots of falling snow. But you wouldn't actually speak that way usually. Yuki looks perplexed. What's up?
Is this sentence a metaphor?
A metaphor? For what?
To explain the atmosphere is very quiet.
あ、そう。
わかんない。
そういうやつがある？
そういうやつ
があるんだ。雪がたくさん降っている夜でした。
なんか雪が降るとさ、静かになる。
確かに。わかる。そういう、ない。
それをだけを書いて静かだっていうのを察するわけよ。
知らなかった。Yuki just explained something interesting to me, Terry. It depends on where you read it, but she said that phrase can be used as a metaphor. I don't know if you could hear her talking, but she was speaking in Japanese, so you might not have picked that up. But it can be used as a metaphor to mean really quiet. Because when it snows, it's really quiet. So it depends on the type of story it was in, but it could be that the person who wrote it was using it as a metaphor to mean it was really quiet, like a shing type of quietness. So, because when it snows, it's really quiet. So it's possible that they were using it as a metaphor. I've never seen that one before used as a metaphor, but obviously she would know better than me when it came to that. 暑い。地下鉄は just woke up, decided to sleep in today. いいな. I want to sleep in. 暑い. Always have a price to pay. Haha. 後でいつも微笑止めたことができなかった。とっても楽しかった。日本語の学校と思います。日本語の学校と思いますか? What do I think about Japanese schools in Japan? Covert misnomers. I'm assuming what you're saying. そう、日本の日本語の学校に対してどう思いますか? Would probably be the way to ask that, if that's what you're asking. I know a friend of mine on the Discord, Ethan. He goes to a Japanese language school in Japan. He'd probably be a better person to ask than me. If you want to, there's a link to the Discord in the description of this video, I think, if you want to have a talk with him about it. I don't know much about Japanese language schools in Japan. I don't know if anyone here has checked them out, but I'm not sure. I mean, obviously going to a language school in Japan might be better than going to a language school back home, because you'll also, when you're outside of the school, be surrounded by Japanese all day, every day. So that's obviously awesome for that. But I don't know anything about any specific language schools in Japan, unfortunately. Other people in the community might have a better answer for you than I do on that one. I noticed that also Japanese people don't like sarcasm or don't get it. Yeah, pretty much. It's just not a thing. Hi, it's about 6 a.m. for me. Ohayo! Obanana yo, Nikki. Thank you for stopping in so early on a Sunday. Man, thank you. I tried it and they thought I was crazy. Yeah, definitely. They have no idea what you're talking about all the time. Does Yuki do this with you? Do this as in the sarcasm thing? Yeah. I gave up on sarcasm a long time ago. I used to try a lot, and everyone was just like, and then I'd have to explain it, and they'd be like, okay. Yuki surprisingly uses some sarcasm when she speaks Japanese, but I think that's because she's been exposed to foreign culture more, and it's usually sort of in like an aggressive way.
今悪口言ったの
It happens. It's not really Wataguchi. But yeah. Roughly at what point in Genki would I be ready to read some kids' books, graded readers, or something along those lines? Graded readers you can do at any time. So, because there's so many levels of graded readers, that's what's so great about them. There is a link in the pinned post on the Discord, Exit Trance, if you're in the Discord, and it's to a 900-page PDF that's free of graded reading material. And on the Patreon, Yuki does... there's a link that Come to Japan just threw up. Yuki does read-alongs with it in the Patreon, so you can read along with her if you're on there, on the tier 1 and tier 2. But you can just read it at any time on your own. There's 900 pages, so some of that you can start reading from day 1, pretty much. Maybe day 2, lesson 1, lesson 2. So graded readers you can start at any time. Native material you're going to have a hard time with if your only content that you're studying from is Genki. You'll probably want to wait till you at least finish Genki 1 before you're going to feel comfortable reading. Unless you don't mind looking up a lot of words every single page. So I would suggest memorizing some more words and stuff first, and getting through Genki 1 at least, and then maybe pick up some easier material. But yeah, the graded reading materials you can get started on right away. Andy, I haven't checked yet, but did you update the lesson 9 to include the section you missed? You may have mentioned it before I got here. Yes, Aubergine, we premiered the lesson 9 stream cut, and the stream cut has that whole section that I missed in full. So I recorded it and re-released it, and I went over it a little bit tonight. But if you have any questions on that, I'm happy to answer them as well. By the way, Andy, I was wondering if you know of any tests online that are good that I could do to test my knowledge. Genki is good practice, but I like exams to kind of force me to challenge myself. Someone literally just asked that question, specifically in relation to Genki, whether or not there were tests available. And I don't know of any. I know there's practice tests for JLPT scattered around the internet. So you could try like an N5 or an N4 test and see how you do on that. But I don't know of any tests for Genki or any good quizzes in particular. They were mentioning how they would really love to test themselves in the Genki books. And maybe for the Patreon, when I finish going through the first book, especially if Genki 2 is delayed, maybe I'll consider making some kind of tests or test website or something. We'll think about it. At the moment, there isn't anything, but it's definitely a good idea. I think it's something we could make a nice little bonus, like a bonus, some bonus content for the Patreon with tests and stuff. That could be fun. We'll see. At the moment, there's nothing, but I would like to make something like that. Mang answered your question a little bit too as well, I guess. Exit Trance. Nice, thank you. Really? That's interesting. I'm guessing about sarcasm. Kirai na, 千葉で小さな地震があったか。あ、地震があったんだ。
震度3だって。
震度3だったか。OK。微笑は何ですか？わかりません。ほら、千葉、大丈夫？ In Chinese, I had graded readers that would be limited to vocab, Hanzai grammar for around the N5 equivalent. Was wondering if there's a similar point like finishing Genki 1, 2. There's also a lot of graded reader materials. Like if you finish Genki 1, you're probably okay with level 2 for most graded readers that are available in Japanese, but they are kind of expensive. So I do recommend using that 900-page PDF before you worry about getting any of those. Yeah, kid books can be done pretty early, although there's a lot of extra words in there that aren't going to be covered in any textbook. Like, there's a lot of like sound words like goro goro, and well, goro goro is covered, but like I don't know, I can't think of a good one. Mochi mochi, stuff like that. That'll be in kids' books that you're not going to get in an adult textbook, which is unfortunate because people use it a lot in everyday language, so they should be in textbooks. But you'll run into a lot of that in kids' books, and also kids' books won't have any kanji, so that is a whole nother challenge in and of itself. But yeah, you can start them pretty early. Thank you for sharing that link, Come to Japan. Appreciate it. Dan-sama azas. Awesome, thanks. No problem. Tanoshikatta da ne. Would be great with a test. Absolutely. I wanted to join the game, but I was busy with other stuff at the same time. I'm sorry, Nahoel. That's too bad. We will be doing it again. We will be doing it again. It was a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it. So I definitely plan on doing it again. I don't know if we're going to live stream it again because I wasn't able to really interact with anyone in live chat. So it sort of defeated the purpose of having it live streamed. So I might not stream it again, depending on what everyone in the Discord decides. But we will be doing it again in the Discord. So get in on the Discord if you'd like to join us in our Japanese vocabulary games. Next time we're going to try and make it a little specific, maybe chapter by chapter vocabulary and stuff like that. And thanks to Donnie, Donnie, there he is, Donnie, for setting up that vocabulary for us so that we could do those games yesterday. It was thanks to him that we were able to do that. And for Walter Ditto for encouraging us to make it happen. Someone put UK GCSE exams in the Discord today. For the reading understanding, I can do pretty well after less than one half of Genki. Nice. Okay. That's cool. I think I'll buy kids' books and hope for the best. Yeah. Konbanwa. Konbanwa 356 desk. Worst case, use Google Translate. No, kanji actually messes up my reading real bad. Right now. But when you start to learn some of it, you won't know how you lived without it. The Peebo app if you're on iOS. What's the Peebo app? Cool. Bring 2020 to peace, says Lucian. Yes, please. Alright, Takai teacher read The Hungry Caterpillar to us in Japanese. Lots of words I don't know. Yeah. They're actually, kids' books can be much more difficult than you expected. When I was working at my old kindergarten, we had a library with just hundreds and hundreds of kids' books. So I used to borrow a bunch, and I would read them at home. And a lot of them were, like, I could get through them, but I picked up a lot of new vocabulary from these little kids' books after studying Japanese for, like, 3 years, because textbooks and stuff don't necessarily cover the same things that native kids would learn. Probably because they think you won't need that in everyday language, but the fact is it's going to show up. So it is good to get your hands on some native material as soon as you can. Oh, nice. They have tons of Japanese children's books. That's cool. Peebo app, ne? Hiragana only is so hard. Agreed. How's your day, Kamiki? My day's going pretty good. I'm tired. It was a very busy day. But I'm good. I can't recognize much words on kana only. LOL. Kanji is a helping hand. Yeah, nobody likes reading only in kana. It's... Oof. I don't like it. I'd rather have kanji I don't know and have to look them up or have someone tell me what they say rather than all hiragana any day of the week. Especially if it's not spaced well. Thanks, Donnie and Ditto. That would make a great YouTube channel name. Yes. I'm reading a Star Wars comic book in Japanese. It's still way above my level, but because I know the story and the dialogue and can recognize a lot of the kanji, I'm able to read a few pages a day. Nice. That sounds like that's a great way to go towards it. Like, find some native material that's of something that you already know and that you like. That's why I'm reading Harry Potter in Japanese right now. Like, there's obviously like kanji and stuff related to magic that I'm not going to know, but because I know the story, it's really fun to read. Like, I've been enjoying reading it a lot again. So I haven't had much time to read it, but I try to read a couple pages every day. And sometimes I'll start reading it and I'll read like 50, well, maybe like 30, 40 pages. And I'm like, oh my God, I should probably do some work. But yeah, if it's something you enjoy, studying becomes effortless. Andy, how's the graded reader series coming along? I'm looking forward to more of Yuki's readings. So we've been trying to get ahead on the Patreon content in general. So hopefully over this next week, we're going to be making we're going to catch up. We're going to make we'll probably record another 5 or so episodes and start releasing them again, more. Sorry about that. We were hoping to put up more, but it's been kind of crazy. But we're gonna make more this week. Do you have any advice for people who have a lack of motivation for studying Japanese? Ooh. Oh, Yuki just shouted out, watch anime in Japanese. It's a good way to. It's good. It's good. Watching anime is definitely helpful. Particularly when you're not feeling up to studying in particular, like looking at a textbook or doing flashcards or something. Sitting down and watching an anime in only Japanese with Japanese subtitles on, or reading something is also a great way, like more active, as opposed to trying to take in new information. And don't necessarily look up everywhere. Just sort of be a little passive about it is perfectly fine. And if you see a word that keeps popping up that you're interested in, maybe look that one up. Maybe look up a word every minute or two or something at the most if you're not feeling up to it. Other than that, like, the only other advice I have is to just do it. And more importantly is to, and I think this is the most important, is not necessarily to will your way through it, but to make it so that you feel, to make it into a habit. So start with something small, like find one little thing that you kind of enjoy doing studying, and then do that every day for a month at the same time, if possible, if your schedule allows for it, at the same time, for the same amount of time, and then add another thing on top of that. And if you can turn those little things into habits and keep building upon them, eventually what'll happen is you'll feel guilty if you don't do them. So it won't be a matter of motivation, it'll become like brushing your teeth. And that's basically what you want it to become like. You want studying to become like brushing your teeth. Because, well, most people don't think about brushing their teeth. It obviously is annoying, but like, someone pointed this out to me once. They said, imagine this. You have a chronic disease. And this chronic disease requires you to take a treatment twice a day. You have to take a treatment in the morning and a treatment before bed at night. And it takes a while. It's invasive. It's bodily invasive. It's an invasive treatment. And it takes about 3 minutes of invasive treatment in the morning and at night to keep this disease that you got, chronic disease that's incurable. You have to do this every day for the rest of your life. There's no slacking on it, right? And that sounds terrible, but what I just described is brushing your teeth. It's just brushing your teeth. So you want studying Japanese, which you can't get yourself to do, to be brushing your teeth. Like it can be a struggle and it can be not fun, but if you can turn little habits of studying Japanese, just, learning 10 new words on Anki or reading 2 pages in the new manga, and you turn that into a habit that you do at the same time every single day, with maybe a break once a week, because breaks are important to keep yourself refreshed. It won't be a matter of whether or not you're motivated. You'll just do it anyway, because it'll become automatic. Your body will just start moving, and you'll do it, just like with brushing your teeth or with eating or with anything else that becomes a habit. So that's what I recommend most. And then when you still can't get yourself to do it, watch some anime. I missed a lot of questions during that. Maybe I didn't. No, I didn't miss that much. Okay. Never too late to learn Chinese. Okay, that's a different conversation. Have you used the book, An Integrated Approach to Intermediate Japanese? Did you like it? I haven't used it. I looked at it. I didn't love it. That's why I didn't use it. But by the time I was using another textbook, I was pretty far beyond intermediate, so I tried some advanced textbooks, and I didn't like them much either. So I feel like when you get past Genki 2, beyond looking up certain grammar points and stuff on your own, you can pretty much start reading and stuff to pick up new language and speaking and things. But for people who like textbooks, that may be one approach. I'm still not sure which intermediate textbook I'm going to cover after Genki 2, or if I might make my own material. I might make my own material after Genki 2, as opposed to covering a textbook. But we'll see. We'll see. But I have not actually used that textbook, Robin. Sorry. Motivation is hard one, as there really isn't any solution. It's a really personal thing. 日本人の私でも日本語を間違います says 356 task. ですよね。 みんなが間違いますよね。間違えてもいい。My favorite saying is always 間違えてもいいよ。たくさん間違えてください。
でもさ、
うん。
全然違うけど、なんか日本語ってさ、間違えてもさ、意味わかるからいいよね。
yes. But any language is that way. And that's the point. Yuki was just saying if you make a mistake in Japanese, it doesn't mean that you won't be understood. And it's the same in any language. Speaking a language is a means of communication. It's not something that you have to get perfect or no one will understand you. It's a means of communication, and if someone can pick up what you mean despite your mistakes, then it doesn't really matter. Obviously, you want to not make mistakes. You want to speak as clearly as possible. But even when I'm speaking English in these lessons, I'm stuttering from every once in a while. Like, I just made a mistake from every once in a while. That's not correct English at all. But you knew what I was saying. It's the same thing with Japanese, so don't worry about mistakes too much. My Netflix has no Japanese subtitles. It's so annoying. Oh, it's a bummer. I wonder if you can get a VPN to work with it. Yeah, I totally agree with not looking everything up. I mean, sometimes I see a scene where I know what they're saying is funny and might be fun to say in Japanese, then it's worth looking up. Yeah. If you have a Kindle, you can just touch the word and look it up, and like Satori Reader and stuff like that. Oh, that's another thing. Check out Satori Reader, the app. That's a great thing to check out if you're still in Genki for doing some reading practice. Satori Reader. Not just graded readers, but that's sort of graded reading material, and you can just touch a word and it'll show you what the meaning it is, or the reading. And you can set the settings so that only kanji that show up in Genki 1, or like based on what textbook you're in Satori app, in Satori Reader. It's also a website. Based on Genki and on JLPT and on like other different things, so that it doesn't show the reading of the kanji if you don't want it to, stuff like that. So that's another great option for reading, Satori Reader. Habits for sure is great. It just becomes what you do. Tracing VPN, yep. I listened to a manga drama CD in Japanese and I was surprised how much I understood. Listening and speaking are my downfalls, so I was really pleased that I got about 50% of what was said. Nice! It's a great step. Terrace House really good for day-to-day chit-chat language too. I've heard that too. I've never watched. I'm not a huge fan of reality shows, but people have found it great for studying Japanese, so I can't. That's great. What I do every day is I look at my notes in the morning and once at night, and it just keeps things fresh in my mind. Yeah, that's another good way to do it. And I also got Duolingo that is fun, and then you learn some things and new things quicker. Nice. I wish I could communicate with grunts. You probably could. Might get some weird looks, but thanks for the super insightful response. I'll try to incorporate it in my nichijou, and hopefully I can see results. I hope so too, Kamiki. I'm glad it was helpful. You know, my biggest challenge right now is finding a way to do consistent grammar practice, because I will understand it when I do my lessons and do the workbook, but since I'm not using it all the time, it gets hard. Yeah, using it is important. Finding ways to use it, whether it's with like Skype lessons or speaking with other people or making sentences. That's what I did. Because I didn't have much time to go talk to people, even when I was learning Japanese. Like, I did as many iTalk lessons as I could. But in between, what I was doing was I was writing sentences. So any grammar that I had learned that day or that week, I would just try and remember it, and I would make a sentence using whatever I knew. Just make stuff up. Writing sentences, write journals. The thing with journals is most people's days are pretty routine. Like, there's not much new that happens. So it's hard to not just write the same thing every single day when it's in a different language. But some people are really good at journaling. So like if you can come up with new things to write using the new grammar you have, that might be one way. But definitely trying to get some output with what you know is helpful for remembering grammar. When you mess up, you usually remember it afterwards. I messed up yasai and yasui. Tried explaining that the taxi was inexpensive, but just kept repeating. Yes. Mistakes are great. I at an interview for a job, which I ended up getting, I kept saying that I didn't have a mensetsu, which is an interview. I kept saying, mensetsu ga nai. I don't have an interview. What I meant to say was menkyou ga nai. I don't have a license. But instead I just kept saying menkyou or mensetsu over and over again. So that's not one I'll be messing up easily. But, yo, Jeff Bezos, give this dude a Kindle sponsorship. Oh. No, I just gotta do my my Kindle recommendation video and how to use it well, and then just put a affiliate link in the bottom, and basically Jeff Bezos has sponsored me. Thanks, guy. That's cool. But anyway, I do want to do that video because I do think I love my Kindle. Like, I've always loved my Kindle, But the fact that I can read Japanese and just touch it and I get example sentences in Japanese, Japanese definition, English definition, a direct link to Wikipedia if there is one, like with the Wikipedia entry, if there's an entry for that word or phrase or person, and Google Translate, just like right there. I don't have to pick up my phone or anything. It's in the book. Crazy. The hotel staff was too kind or too confused to correct me. They probably understood what you were saying. Well, I don't know if they did. Yasui and yasai aren't very close together. Hi.
なんかひらがなだから難しいと思います。
何が？
そのサウンドが似てる音が安い、野菜。
いやでも喋ってたからね。
ああ、
喋ってた。
大丈夫です。
Give it to Dan also and myself, yes. I did that in my practice today, yasai, yasui, and yasashi. Yeah. Well, when you're writing, Yuki was just mentioning, when you're writing in hiragana like that, it can be very easy to mess those up. If you write them in kanji, you're not going to miss those ones. But writing them out in hiragana, it's going to be hard to remember. For sure. I still make that very simple mistake too. It's becoming a running joke with my Japanese friends whenever I say something like vegetable hotel. Oh yeah, yasai. Love it. Toss $1 billion on my account while you at it. I'll just take some Amazon stock. Like 10 shares. 10 shares would be nice. It's like a yearly salary in Japan. 10 shares of Amazon. My god. Thoughts in becoming a VTuber. VTuber. What's a VTuber? I've heard this word VTuber, and I'm not positive what it is. Virtual YouTuber. A virtual YouTuber is an online entertainer, typically a Japanese-speaking YouTuber and a live streamer who is represented by a usually anime-inspired digital. I don't really get the whole thing in Japan where Japanese people, like, there's a lot of really famous live streamers. They just don't show their face at all on their live streams, game streams. Like, can you imagine a famous live streamer in America that didn't show their face on stream? Never. But Japanese people love doing that. I don't really know. I don't have many thoughts on it, except you got to be pretty entertaining, I feel like. Like, on stream, if you show your face, if you have like good facial expressions or good reactions, you don't necessarily need to be entertaining in your words. I mean, you do need to be entertaining, but if you're not showing your face, you got to be extra entertaining with your talking. So there's that. But otherwise, I don't know much. I haven't really watched many VTubers, so I'm not sure. Kindle was one of the best investments I made last year before I even started Japanese. Word. I usually realize I messed up way after the situation. At least I don't get too embarrassed in front of the people I'm trying to impress with, with my Japanese. Yeah, but even if you remember later, you got it. Byoin versus byoin in spoken language. Yeah, that's a tough one, even for me. Context is everything. Context is king. There's some big bands that don't show their face, but it's extremely few and far between. Yeah, and that I kind of get. Like the whole mask thing. Think like Gwar, Slipknot. What's the one big band with the wolf masks in Japan?
Man with a Mission.
Man with a Mission. Yeah, stuff like that. That I kind of get. That's the whole gimmick, right? And the cool thing about that is you can switch members and no one ever knows. So it's a good marketing stint. Daft Punk, yeah. I was always saying bimbo instead of bimbo for a while. Sometimes words just lodge themselves awkwardly in my head. Do you know anything about the Okinawan language? Not much. I know there's a lot of differences, but I don't really know much about it. But I don't know much, unfortunately. In Psyche K, there was an episode where they talked a little bit about Okinawa in Japanese. So, we got super sidetracked, and that's fine. That's what this live stream is for, the question and answer one. It's much more laid back, and I'm cool with that. Let's just jump, though, to the last section and see if there's any questions about kara. Walter Ditto! Oh, banana yo! Kon banana. Kon banana. And for anyone else, konbannichiwa. Konbannichiwa. Kamiki. Come to Japan was saying that he knows a bit too kamiki. Got it. So yeah, kara was reason, situation. In between those, you put kara, and that becomes reason, so situation. That's basically it. Super useful conjunction junction. So, if anyone has any questions on that, that's awesome. If not, that's fine too. And I'll just drop it down to the same question time from last week, which was, what is something you already did today? What is something you haven't done yet today? コーヒーをもう飲みました。コーヒーをまだ飲んでいない。That's not true. I drank 3 coffees today. I drank 3 coffees today. I wanted to drink 4, but I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep. So, anyway, took a semester of Okinawan in college years ago. Nice. 心から from the heart. Yes. Correct. Just had a little buzz over here. Oh, I see. Got a random message. Might be about Zelda.
Huh?
Never mind, that was a little bit more serious than I expected. I'll get to that later. Between this kara and the lesson 6 kara, I don't quite understand the difference. You said the one in the other lesson was much less used, so should I just brush it off? Okay, this is why I was so annoyed by the lesson 6 kara, Radclaw. Because the lesson 6 kara is this kara. It is this kara. But it's a usage in conversation where you've already... It's a different situation that's sort of more rare. So here's the situation. You've said the situation already. So, for example, the situation might be, party ni ikanai. I'm not going to go to the party. So you said the situation. And then someone asks you why. Nande? And then you give the reason plus kara. Isogashii kara. Right? That's it. It's just that the point in the conversation is different. Whereas, more likely, you're going to give the reason and the situation together in a sentence. Isogashii kara ikanai. So the lesson 6 version is if the situation comes alone, standalone, party ni ikanai. And then someone asks why. Nande? Isogashii kara. So it like splits them out, which is just more confusing. I don't know why they did that. It's so annoying. That should have just been... It should have been a footnote in this lesson. That's what that should have been. That should have been a footnote. But instead, they gave it to you earlier, which just throws you off when you get to this one. Like, wait, what's the difference? Well, there is no difference. It is this. This is the grammar point. That's just the usage. Because... And what's happening there is you're dropping the situation because you've already said it. It's the same structure, really. What it is party ni ikanai. Nande? Isogashii kara party ni ikanai. But you already said party ni ikanai, so you're dropping it. That's all that's happening there, is you're dropping it. So literally, they taught you a form of kara where you dropped the end of the construction. So I'm not happy about that. Probably unreasonably unhappy about that. But anyway. Hopefully that makes it understandable for you. Some say Andy is on a plane, others say his oven is on, and a cooking show is about to start. In fact, it's Aces promoting the summer field to his room. Yeah, and all of the above, actually. It's a cooking show, and I'm always on an airplane. It's all of the above, actually. Some people are joking about how I should start a GoFundMe for a desktop. I just might have to do that at some point, because this thing it's getting worse. My laptop, when just cutting, like when just doing cuts of clips, it runs at like 87 degrees. It's insane. そうですか。わかります。わかりましたか？よかった。Wow, that sounds super cool. 浮きみそうち means おはようございます。浮きみそうち. Nice. For kara, do we mostly use it for because and also for from? So those are two different karas. So they're different. So the 9時から6時まで, so from 9 to 6 is a different, it's technically a different word. This is the conjunction kara, so it means because or so. That is the kara that means from. So it's actually like a word, or almost like a particle maybe? It might actually be considered a particle. Let's pull out my dictionary. 9時から6時までのkara. それは particle だよね。だよね。particle だよね。Yeah, it's a particle. So the from 8時 kara, here's a sentence. パーティーは8時から始まる. So the party is from 8, or it starts at 8. So that's a particle. And the particle means from or since, obviously, yeah. And then kara is a completely different entry, and that's a conjunction. A conjunction. So that basically means so, or des. Sorry, it's you can't see it because my ISO is turned up too high, but it's blown out. But yeah, they're different. One's a particle, one's a conjunction. Okinawan is actually a different language than Japanese. Yeah, Dan was actually talking about this on one of the other streams. I remember that. Sorry I'm abusing your fan noise. Don't worry about it, man. Call it out. I know it's there. But that's why in the stream cuts, I liberally apply the audition noise reduction, the adaptive noise reduction. It's a beautiful setting. It's just one click. I drag bars a little bit just to lessen it a little bit, and all the fan sounds are gone. And there's very little howling. Like if I were to turn on noise suppression on... check this out. Watch this. I'm going to turn on noise suppression for my mic. It sounds like hot garbage. Oh! I forgot to turn on my noise gate. Why is the noise gate's only on the other one? Okay, that's... well, that's annoying. 350. I'm supposed to have a noise gate on, but I guess I only did the setting on the gaming stream, not on this one. Noise gates help. So there's the noise gate. But now watch what happens when I put on noise suppression. It sounds like hot garbage. Okay, that's noise suppression. How's that sound to you guys? Do I sound like a robot? And can you hear the fans wailing in the background? At least the fan sound's gone, but I'm not leaving that on. Goodbye, noise suppression. Done. Okay. Anyway. I can't say today, but I wanted to stop by and wish you guys well. Thanks for stopping by, Walter. I hope you have a good day. What's the difference between kara and node? Both mean because, if I'm not mistaken, says Pitovnikov. They have the same meaning. The rules for their usage are slightly different, and there are some situations in which you cannot use, I believe, kara, but you can use node. So they're slightly different in the way you can use them. And, for example, you can't have polite form before node. You can have it before kara. So you can say, tabemasu kara, nantoka. But you can't say tabemasu node. You have to say taberu node. So before node, you must have the informal conjugation. And there's also, hold on, there's one other thing. Let me look it up. I always forget what this difference is. Node is used when the speaker believes that the information he provides in the first sentence, in the reason, is valid and is also evident and acceptable to the hearer. So the person listening also realizes this and believes it. So it's obvious that that's the case. Whereas kara doesn't necessarily mean that. So their example is, 人がたくさん来るだろうから食べ物をたくさん買っておいて because many people will probably come, I bought a lot of food. But the other person doesn't necessarily know that a lot of people are going to come. So you can't use no de there. This is kind of complicated. But so you can't say 人がたくさん来るだろうので. That だろう. The だろう means probably. So you can't use no de with words like probably because it means there's some kind of uncertainty in there. Maybe the listener and yourself aren't certain about the outcome, so you can't use no de. So that's one other difference. It's a weird nuance. This is important, guys. I highly recommend this one. Eventually, you'll probably also want this one. And you may someday also want this one. It's funny because they're made by the same company as Genki, Japan Times. And yet, Genki does not properly cover the things that are properly covered in these dictionaries sometimes. Blows my mind. But that's why I do. I do my best, at least, to try and cover it. Okay. F and chat with the sands. Now it sounds awesome. Not. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so the noise suppression is garbage, right? So I have to get rid of that. But the noise gate is good. I wish I would have had that on from the beginning. I love Japanese. Just started My Hero yesterday to practice my listening skills. Nice. You sound distorted with the noise gate or with the noise suppression? Because I turned off the noise suppression. コロナウイルスを移り止めるからマスクをつける。Ah, I get what you're saying. Okay. 移らないように is what you want to say there. So コロナウイルスを移らないようにマスクをつける。So ように移らないように Yoni means so that something doesn't happen. ないように so that this thing doesn't happen. つける. I actually can't tell how, but I have atrocious hearing anyway. 私はもう暗記で勉強しました。まだコーヒーを飲んでいません。Nice. You should probably get in that coffee. We are all your fans. Aw, thank you, Kamiki. Unfortunately, Okinawan is a dying dialect. Only the older generation uses it, but there are a lot of people and groups trying to revive it. You haven't had coffee yet? コロナウイルスを広がないようにマスクをつける。広げないようにマスクをつける。It's 8:30 a.m. here. I'm slacking. Oh my god. A dictionary of beginners Japanese grammar? Yes. It's a good book. Basic, I think. It's basic. A dictionary of basic Japanese grammar. Because of quarantine measures, I'm not even allowed to go out. Wow, really? Those rules are back in effect, huh? How much do they run for? So I highly recommend picking them up from the Japanese Amazon. 2,800 yen on Japanese Amazon, which isn't bad. It's like $28. It's 100% worth it. I'll put a link. I don't think here's the Amazon.com one. I don't think Amazon allows these ones to be affiliate links, but dictionary of basic Japanese grammar. But I'll be completely upfront with you guys. This is an affiliate link. I'm gonna pop that into the live stream. This is the American one. It's a bit expensive in America. It's $50 on the American Amazon. On the co.jp Amazon, let me pop this up. Hold on. Bookmarks, YouTube, this one. So that is an affiliate link. If you click on that, it doesn't cost anything extra, but if you do buy something off of that link, I'll get like 3% of whatever you pay. So that helps the channel a lot. A dictionary of basic. But if you're not comfortable with that, just search a dictionary of basic Japanese grammar, and it's basically the same thing. I'm completely okay. Oh, I can't get a shortened URL for that. Copy that. This is a really long link, so I'm gonna bit.ly it. 1 second. This is to the Japanese Amazon, and it's much, much cheaper. Create. There you go. Copy. Here is the link to the Japanese Amazon. And that is also, just so you know, an affiliate link. Go away. So how much is it on the Japanese Amazon? It's 3,000 yen. And you can get them used. My intermediate one was used, and it was significantly cheaper. But it was in perfect shape. Like, it was brand new. It said it was used, but it was brand new. And I believe they do deliver to the States, and it's probably cheaper than the $52 if you buy it from the States, but I'm not sure. Anyway, that's that. Those dictionaries are invaluable. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for explaining. What I understood is that it's too early for me to go that deep into those nuances. Yeah, you don't really have to worry too much about the nuances. In chapter 12 of Genki, they cover no de, and they don't go into that nuance. They basically just cover the fact that it's basically kara, that it sounds slightly more formal than kara, And it's used mostly in written language. I use it in conversation though. But you just need to have the most important thing to remember is that you need to have the informal conjugation before it. コロナウイルスを広げないようにマスクをつける必要がある. Yeah, that's basically it, but it's 広げないようにね。広げない. Close. Is there a chance we can pause the stream? I want to grab some food real quick and I don't want to miss anything. You can pause, but you'll be way behind the actual live part of it. But you can pause. コロナウイルスを広げないようにね。広げない。
でも
広がないように。
広がんないようにが
マスクをつける必要がある。
最初のやつ。
うん。ユキが広げないようにって言ったんじゃない？
そうの方が
そうそう。私は太いから食べます。いいですか？いいですよ。食べて。But if you want to say, you want to use 太い, generally it's use a verb which is 太っている. 太っている means to be overweight or something. So 私は太っているから食べます。いいですか？いいよ。Oh boy, they're a lot more expensive for me. Really? How much are they for you? It showed up as $50 on the American Amazon and $30 on the Japanese Amazon. Simple question. How useful are the dictionary in terms of usage for every day? So, I didn't use Genki when I learned Japanese. So I basically went straight onto iTalki, and what I did was I'd pick grammar points. I actually went from A to the end. And I'd go over the grammar point. I'd take all of the sentences and I'd put them into an Anki deck. I'd put all the sentences into an Anki deck. And then I would make my own sentences with the grammar point. And then I'd go on my iTalki lesson and I'd have my teacher correct them. So I'd read them out to her and she'd tell me what was wrong with them. And then I'd go on to the next one. So this is actually what I used to learn Japanese. I started using Genki on Genki 2 in the middle of it. Like I got to the middle of Genki 2 and I was getting bored with using this. So I asked my teacher to give me some more structure. So she told me to pull up my Genki 2. I own them. I just hadn't used them. And from the second half of Genki 2, I finished off Genki 2. And that got me through to N3. But the fact that I used this, and actually I finished this one. I did the whole thing. And then I actually started on the intermediate one as well. And after going through all those grammar points, pretty much every single one, and a bunch of them in this one, and then finishing off Genki 2, as well as, lessons online where I was speaking every day, or most days, that got me to N3. And that was 7 years ago, I guess. 7 years ago? 6 years? 6.5 years ago? 7 years ago? Something like that. Okay. Bookmark though. No worries. I think it's 200. Oh, for the full set. Yeah, that might be accurate. I think each one's about. So each one, if you buy it at a bookstore here, is 2,800 yen, which is basically $28. I don't think for someone who's on Genki 1, there's any reason to get the intermediate and advanced ones yet. The basic one will cover basically anything you'll need for at least a year. So I wouldn't go getting the whole set just yet. They'll be sitting on your shelf for a very long time unused. So I actually never used the advanced one when I was studying. I got it now because I'm reading a lot more of more complicated stuff. So I want to have the advanced one. And because I'm teaching it, I figure I should have the advanced one as well. And there has been some stuff that it's been useful for. But for someone who's studying Genki, just the first one is more than enough. But yeah, that's too expensive. I'm losing motivation to use Genki 2 and just use Tai Kim. I'm stuck by that guilt though. Haha. Tai Kim's... be careful with Tai Kim. I used to love Tai Kim and I actually did a video praising him. And I'm not so sure anymore. The more and more people ask questions about things in Tai Kim, the more and more I'm finding mistakes. So I'm not so confident that Tai Kim is the best resource anymore. Some of his explanations are really good and some of his sentences are really good. But there's been quite a few little grammar things that are actually quite wrong. So be careful. That's all I'll say. Alright. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Okay, guys, so I'll be around for a few more minutes, but I just wanted to say that if you're still here, please make sure that you hit that thumbs upを攻撃してください. Please attack the thumbs up button. And チャンネル登録お願いします. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that bell too. That helps a lot. Share this, maybe not this video. This isn't the most shareable video. But share any video, like maybe the Ando-san video with the yabai sign next to it, with anyone you might know who's interested in Japanese. And yeah, that helps a lot. Check out the Patreon link down in the description. The Discord, come hang out in the Discord. We finally started doing voice chat games where we go play games with Japanese from Genki and stuff like that. And there's going to be lots more activities like that in the future. Thank you to our new member here on ToKini Senpuki. And covert misnomer that was. Thank you very much. And I hope you all have a great week and a great night. I'm going to be on for a few more minutes. Thank you for being here, Donnie. Thank you. Lots of work goes in making... Yes, lots of work. So tired. I'm just finishing Genki 1 and loved it. Another book I like for a practice homework review was Japanese for Busy People. I've heard a lot of people like that one. Summer say it's. Sunny Summer says. Thanks for stopping by. A good series, but with a lot less grammar explanations than Genki. Fair enough. Thanks. See you next time. Yeah, next week will be lesson 10 from Genki, so... should be a good time. With that said, I'll probably be streaming again tomorrow. I'm dying to play some Dragon Quest X in Japanese. So I feel like there will be a live stream tomorrow night. So come hang out there if you're interested. You can see me struggle with a bunch of fantasy-related kanji that I never bothered learning. That's fun. But maybe we'll see you then. Yuki's also playing along with me, by the way. So Yuki will be on camera this time, I think, too. So she's been playing Dragon Quest X, which is an MMO, Dragon Quest MMO, that's only in Japanese. It's only released in Japan. So if you want to come hang out during that, that'll be fun. Thank you for the stream. I'm going to go get ready. Lesson 10 for me today. Oh boy, Radpaw. Tsukare. Good job. Good luck. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Thanks. Oyasumi o banana nasai. And if you want edits, write me now. Oh yeah. You know I do. I got time and would like to help you with pushing content. Worth it. I don't know if I have any like backlog that I can send you. Otherwise, I would totally be up for some help with editing. The Patreon stuff is kind of backlogged, but it has an extremely specific format, so I'm not sure. We'll talk. Alright. But anyway, thank you everyone. 本当に楽しかったです. Tonight was a very laid back. I enjoyed it. It's fun to do these once in a while, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Matane, thank you Keckles, thank you Lena, thank you Michael, thank you Sunny Summer Days, thank you Lucian, thank you Yuki, thank you Come to Japan Dan, make sure you check out his channel. Subscribe to him and to his new Ghost Map Japan with Kyushu Trail from earlier. Thank you Chris, Austin, Kamiki, Covert, and anyone else that I missed. Donnie, Robin, Space Monkey, Meng, Radclaw, Ryanoff. And I apologize if I don't have your name on my screen right now, but thank you for being here. I'm going right to bed. Mark Jacobs as well, thank you. Do you have any tips for memorizing the vocabulary? SRS and mnemonics and making stories up in your head that use the sounds. But mostly Anki. Anki's going to help you a lot. Anki or Memorize or any kind of SRS flashcard app. Some people hate them, but nothing quite beats them. So I highly recommend getting used to one if you can. Putting them in Anki. There's some free Anki decks for Genki on the import export, like on their website, Anki Web. So you can get some stuff for that, and that'll help you a lot. You're welcome. Sorry I didn't have a more detailed answer, but if you jump on the Discord, there's lots of people who have been creating cool decks for Anki, I think, so maybe they can help you there too. Thank you too, Noel. Appreciate it. Hope to see you at the next game night. 毎日そのlikeボタンを押した。Thank you. 毎回ね、毎回。相変わらず、アンディさん、素晴らしかったです。ありがとうございます。Space Monkey, thank you. Alright, guys. Have a good night. Have a good day. And we'll see you next time. Maybe tomorrow night. Alright. Thank you. Boom.
俺と同じ風に日本語を喋れるようになりたいのか？この本持ってるのか？
Then we're here to help.
え、そうなの？俺は無理って言おうと思った。
On the ToKini Andy Patreon, we have listening and shadowing practice, Genki vocabulary practice, Genki textbook practice where Yuki, Ando, and I are your partners. Eventually, even workbook practice.
え、そうなの？給料出る？
確かに
Yeah, sure.
給料出るんだ
After Genki 1, we'll be covering Genki 2, and eventually even intermediate textbooks. Detailed grammar lessons and Japanese Q&As will, as always, be on the YouTube for free. ToKini Andy Patreon, live right now.
よろしくね。
よろしくお願いします